Hello guys and welcome to the Phoenix Club. I'm Tom, this is Josh, and we're on to our second episode of Unpopular Opinions. Probably my favourite show we do, just because some of the ludicrous stuff that comes off Twitter. And we're going to start with something I find probably the most hilarious thing I've heard since last week's episode from Jim White, probably my least favourite football pundit that there is. And he said that Spurs winning the Premier League this season would be a bigger achievement or more significant than Leicester winning it in 2015-16.
Just what I was listening to him and watching him trying to actually legitimately explain this opinion is just madness. Come on! I mean, he recited the fact that Spurs haven't signed anyone. Well,
I don't care.
They've still got a very good squad. Leicester nearly got relegated the season before.
I mean, Spurs have Champions League proven players. They've been in the Champions League the last 3 seasons.
They've got the Golden Boot winner from the World Cup.
I mean, it's just, you know what it is? I think it's Jim White trying to get headlines, and it's just really bad because, I mean, Tottenham, respect to you guys. You got a good manager. You got a manager who brings up players from your own youth academy. It's really good you've done that. I've given Poch creds on this channel for that in the past. But really? Bigger than Leicester from 17th place the season before, or near on 17th.
I think about 15th in the end, but yeah.
15th, but they, it was a relegation dogfight to winning the league. But for some reason, Spurs, who came third last season, winning it would be a bigger achievement. All the stats would argue absolutely not. The investment of it, albeit in the last sort of 5 years, would say absolutely not. The manager, absolutely not. I mean, really, Jim?
It's just so laughable.
It's this one. I don't even like. We put it on the show because it's funny. But no serious football fan should contemplate this, surely. Do let us know in the comments, by the way.
Yeah, if you agree with this, please let us know. We want to know who you are.
And we kind of want to shoot you down. We want to hear more of these because you'll probably become a regular on the show, honestly.
I think it's just that this is a new regular segment on Unpopular Opinions called Roast a Professional Pundit.
Yeah, true that. But now we're back on to Twitter, the wonderful world of, and we're on to Matt, who has made a point that Nick Pope shouldn't have gone to the World Cup with England. What do you think, Josh?
Well, I think he should have gone to the World Cup. To an extent, it's a process of elimination. Because who are the candidates? Obviously, Pickford, Pope. I mean, Hart is just useless, isn't he?
I agree.
He's just absolute crap. I mean, Ben Foster's also a candidate, I suppose. Jack Butland up there as well. But for me, I think Burnley are so lucky to have Tom Heaton's also another one. Tom Heaton, Nick Pope. I mean, obviously Joe Hart as well. But to have those two as their first and second choice keepers, I think is incredible.
I think, to be honest with you, if it was based on this season, probably I agree with you. Burnley are not having a good season compared to last year. But last year, remember, they came in 7th and they had an incredibly good defensive record. That's not something to be sort of, we shouldn't have gone to the World Cup. It was a decision based on form by Gareth Southgate. And given that he didn't play in the first choice team, I don't actually think it's that significant, to be honest with you.
Also, Burnley have only done so well, not only, but they've been doing so badly this season, not with Nick Pope in goal, with Joe Hart. So...
I know, I agree with you. And I think, I think based on last season, I don't think you can really say that he's done anything wrong. Last season, I thought he was very good. A lot of people wanted him in that squad. In hindsight, maybe, as you say, but as you say, not even this season has he done badly. So, yeah, I mean, I disagree with this one, but I suppose there might be some merit to it.
I mean, please comment below, Matt, on your response to our response. But I'm thinking about replacement or who would have been in instead of. There is no way he could have picked Joe Hart. There's absolutely no way whatsoever. Yeah. And part of Roy Hodgson's downfall was picking squads on paper, was picking big names and not players that had performed. So, as far as I'm concerned, Southgate made the right choice.
So, our third unpopular opinion of the video, it comes from Venti Note. Surprisingly, it's not an opinion on a Juventus player. Well, I suppose it is, but he's on loan at Chelsea. And it's saying that Higuain is criticised too much and by Messi appreciation community. So, I'm going to start on this one, obviously being a Chelsea fan. This was written before the Huddersfield game. I'll give anyone who was slating him that. But I agree, to be honest. He's a proven goal scorer, and he played 2 games for Chelsea, not scored a goal, and he's getting slated as if he's going to be the next Morata, and he's going to be crap, and he's going to be rubbish. I think that was unfair, personally.
Well, I don't think that the Messi obsession community, as Juventino put it, has finished hating on Ronaldo yet to start on Gonzalo Higuain to that extent. Not that I particularly follow any hatred of Lionel Messi. I've not really seen many, of Gonzalo Higuain. I've not seen many people, especially from the Messi side of the world, criticising him all that much. And it's not something that I ever really knew was a thing, that Messi fans were hating on Gonzalo Higuain. I know that they're both Argentinian. Apart from that, I don't really see much of a link. They don't even really play this. They're not the same kind of player. I don't even see the comparison.
Yeah, I mean, I get where he comes from. He was slated when he got to Chelsea. I know in Milan he's not particularly popular, where he scored 6 in 15, which I don't think is a terrible record when you compare with people like Morata. Yeah, I agree with you on that, actually. He is criticised too much, particularly after those first 2 games. And I hope, as a Chelsea fan, he does go and prove his critics wrong.
Yeah, so I just say I agree that he might be criticised too much, but on the Messi aspect, I've never seen no evidence of that.
Okay, so on to our final unpopular opinion of the video, and it's by Tom Black, who's on Twitter as well. And he's saying that Wilfried Zaha is one of the most overrated players in Europe. He's only scored 4 goals and got 2 assists this season.
In Europe, no. In England, probably yes. I think that's the best way to put it. I don't think many people in Europe even know who Wilfried Zaha is to overrate him. And I perhaps have a bit of hostility to the fact that he ditched England for the Ivory Coast anyway. But the fact that Chelsea, I think if Chelsea had signed him, then perhaps that may be more of an indicator. Because Danny Drinkwater, the fact that Chelsea signed him is a bit of an overrating. Ross Barkley, I think, is overrated. But in terms of the context of Europe, I don't think that European teams are chasing his signature.
He's never played European football. That's the thing. And I don't think big clubs like Juventus, Bayern, Dortmund, Madrid, Barcelona are looking at Zaha. I'd be very surprised if they were. Obviously, he had a go at Man United. He wasn't ready. Let's be fair to him.
He wasn't really given a chance, if I'm honest.
And he did fail to an extent. But in all honesty, I think in the Prem he is. People are saying he needs to go to a top 6 club. I think he should improve his stats with Palace in a 4-4-2, where he's got 2 strikers to assist to, before people start saying he should be in the top 6.
And how old is he? About 23, 24? Is he a bit old? Is he around that age? I know he's still, relatively speaking, only young. But I can see him being a Theo Walcott type player, that even when he's 30, we'll sort of be saying, oh, he's one for the future, he's a prospect. I can just see that happening, because I think he reached that point last season where he was at his peak form, and that he was really at the top of his game. But as Thomas said, not you, Tom Black, that is, I've not really seen evidence this season of him improving on last season. And as I said, 4 goals and 2 assists is a poor return for someone that Chelsea, who are chasing top 4 and titles, were after.
I couldn't agree more on that one, to be honest with you. And that's about it for this episode. I think we've had some really interesting ones here. Not much dross in this episode, bar Mr. Jim White. Thanks for watching, guys. Do check out last week's episode if you haven't already. We'll put a link down below. and comment any more that you may have if you want to be included in the next video, and reply to my tweet on it as well. And until next week, we'll see you soon, guys.